Hey there, this is Kate Shumate with the Christian Working Woman, and today we're talking about what really matters. A lot of things in our lives seem really important, and some of them are, but as followers of Jesus, what matters most is the state of our soul. That's why I want to talk to you about fear and courage. I don't know if you would call yourself a courageous person or not. I wouldn't necessarily give myself that title. As a child, I was actually the biggest scaredy cat in every room. I used to dread going into the basement to grab anything for my mom. And once I had what I needed, I would sprint up those stairs like my life depended on it to outrun whatever I thought was chasing me. But when strong summer storms blew through our small Midwestern town, the basement was my best friend. And I ran down as fast as I could, even if it was just a strong rainstorm coming through. I don't think I'm alone in those fears, but looking back now, they're pretty silly. Over the years, I have grown out of these childish fears. I am proud to say that I can now walk up the basement stairs like a totally normal adult, and I only head to the basement in a true tornado warning. We can laugh at the fears that once crippled us as children, but as adults, we have our own set of fears to worry about. These fears can affect our jobs, our families, our churches, and so many other places. It's interesting what fear can do to us. Fear, anxiety, and worry can turn our normally logical, rational thoughts totally upside down. Suddenly, we're adults sprinting up the basement stairs to outrun whatever fear has taken root in our hearts. In our lives, the Lord will call us to places that fill us with fear. Maybe it's sharing the gospel with a coworker, or finding a new job, or breaking off a friendship that pulls you away from Christ. These places of fear are different for each of us. But in the midst of it, the Lord still calls us to be strong and courageous, to not be afraid, to not be discouraged, to remember that the Lord is with us wherever we go. When I feel the Lord is calling me to a place that fills me with fear or anxiety, I remember the story of the disciples watching Jesus walk to them on the water. As the wind and waves crashed against the boat and their very bodies, they heard Jesus say, "Take courage, it is I." And when Peter asked if he should come out to Jesus on the waves, all Jesus said was, "Come." I mean, what an invitation to choose courage. What an invitation to believe that Jesus had actually called Peter to this place that seemed entirely impossible. If you know the story, you know that Peter makes it a few steps on the waves before he begins to see everything around him and sink. My guess is fear took over in a split second and started to drown him. As followers of Jesus, we shouldn't be surprised when he calls us to step into places that seem impossible. And we should expect fear, anxiety, worry about the unknown to meet us there. Yet at the same time, we're called to be people of courage, of bravery and boldness through Jesus. Peter didn't walk on the water alone. He walked with Jesus to Jesus. And the same is true for us. When we take steps of courage, we do it with Jesus. I think Elizabeth Elliot said it best when she said, "Sometimes when we are called to obey, the fear does not subside, but we are expected to move against the fear. One must choose to do it afraid." Do it afraid. I love that. My guess is that you have something in your life that is causing you fear or anxiety or worry. Philippians 4:6 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." And friend, if you still feel anxiousness after giving this care to the Lord, that's okay. Sometimes you have to do it afraid. So let's be a people who choose courage, or at least choose to walk in the places God has called us to, even if we feel afraid.